What should we do?
What should
in your
we do
opinion?
is this. Ukibina must know who Kibina is. Umlochwa must know who Umlochwa is. Umbona must know who Umbona is. Utembe must know who Tembe is.
Dube.
Udube must know who Dube is. But Udube, no Kibina, no Tembe, no Mbona, no Mlochwa can come together and create a nation out of our identities, but that is not necessarily based on our identities. The thing is, European mentality has taught us that our identities must be forefront in whatever we do. In this way. Have you seen the Jews? Even their commerce is based on their culture and their religion.
Yes.
The Muslims, even their commerce and culture is based on their religion.
You can call it religion, but my confirmation has been that, for example, the Jewish and the Muslim are cultures.
Exactly.
We call them religions, but they are.
We call them
cultures.
religions, but everything they do, even their finances, even their education is based on that.
Which means it's more of a culture. Religion is just an aspect of their culture.
It's a piece of that.
Yeah.
Now we lack that. We do everything outside ourselves.
You're saying we should create new. That is not us. I'm asking because the other option is to obviously colonize, where I take Zulu as a concept. I embrace it as my own, even though I'm not linked to the blood. And I go around colonizing and oppressing and exploiting and forcing everyone to become Zulu. Zulu religion, Zulu culture, Zulu language, Zulu diet.
I'm saying, Dingum cause. I must learn from you, assimilate what's necessary from you, and teach to you as well what is necessary for you to live. And then we'll start to understand ukuthi umuntu ngumuntu ngabanye abantu. That does not mean uniformity. That means in our, I'm going to speak Rainbow Nation rhetoric now, in our diversity,
unity and diversity,
we are united.
Mandela.
It will be tough, man. I mean, if you think about like when Penn was, I don't know if the word is shocked about the Balobedu people. You say, I mean, Balobedu, their king, queen is Muchachi. And then the Pedi king is Batulari. So how do you then bring these two people? Because most people think that Kiba Pedi fail.
Sure.
Now,
but already these two people. But that's what I'm saying. That already you've got two kings, and one would argue that Bumjaji are more superior. Now, how do you then bring these two people together?
Let me shock you.
It becomes a serious conflict.
Well, you'd have to sell it like the Rainbow Nation.
No, you can't.
You can't.
If you go to the details of it, I was sitting with let me not say it now. But let me say it. I was sitting with Ubabu Joshua Maponga, and we were having a discussion, says lunch. And we're talking about the history of Zimbabwe. So we're talking about the history of Zimbabwe and how the Ndebeles invaded and took over from the Shonas and that conflict Amashona.
The Kalangas as well. Don't forget them, yeah.
So but you realize that as much as you are blaming the Ndebeles for colonizing the land, the Shonas as well are guilty of the same. Because these people are actually Arabs. They're not even African.
Who's Arab?
The Shona.
From the Mapungu, Bene?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have heard that before.
The Mapungu were Arabs?
No, the mixing of all the people that in that one area. Some people then were mixed with the Arabs.
The royal title of kingship there is Changa Mire. Changa is the land. Mire is Amir, meaning leader. Amir in Arabic. So the kings of that clan took the title Changamir. Changa Amir, the rulers of the land. They are actually Arabs. As much as Oskochi, they're Scottish. Omakanya, Mzambiki, Wamshabia Lingana, they are Scottish. So
Makanya is Macintosh. Mac and something.
Yeah.
Makanya.
Yeah.
Mac.
Oh, Mac.
So hey, what's up, Mac?
If now we are going to go deep into that level, to the Balobedu point now, the Balobedu cannot argue superiority over Bahatulare.
Okay.
Because Bahatulare are indigenous to the land. Balobedu are Karanga. They are Arabic.
Mara, they came down though, Mara Abba, because remember, Umjaji had to run away.
Remember
from the father.
Udzivanguru.
Yeah.
He ran away from Bukaranga.
Yes.
He was the Arab.
Bukaranga is the Kalanga people.
Oh, now I get you. Yeah, they're not the original people. Yes, because she had to run to come south. Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Let's shut it down. My brain's tired. You guys don't have solutions for me, but please think about it.
The solution is one: self-knowledge.
Unity in diversity is why we have a rainbow nation today. It's not the solution.
No, I'm not talking rainbow nation. I'm not talking rainbow nation. If I knew myself and I knew my place, it would be so much easier for me to work with you. Do you get it?
You're not giving me a solution. You're hitting me with philosophy.
No, it's not a philosophy. It's a solution. A solution.
Everyone must go and do their own, study their own history and their lineage. And you believe that magically, once people have done that, somehow we'll
not
be okay.
Magically, intellectually, intelligently, humanly. I mean, look at animals in the wilderness. Lions have their territory. Leopards don't hunt in leopard territory, in lion territory.
But you're now assuming that humans are like that. And we've intermingled so much.
I'm assuming
that we're something else.
I'm assuming and believing and trusting that humans are intelligent enough to be better than animals.
Isn't what we're doing already now part of the solution? There's how many tribes in here?
Exactly.
But none of us are fighting for identity.
No.
We somewhat know who we are.
Exactly.
We are fine here.
I'm not fine. This journey that I'm on is because I'm not fine. It's worse because I've got an Indian ancestor, so maybe that's where part of the problem is.
But this is where
that feels
the building blocks of this is self-knowledge. The moment you know who you are and you know yourself, you will be able to ease yourself into interactions with the next person. There was a conversation I had, and it became very highly publicized, but yes, editing and whatever. But an old man, a senior citizen, I would like to think, he stood up and said to me, Abantu bagiti, bakwahlongwane bazongisiza ngani mina? What benefit amangwane have in my life? But this person is teaching African spirituality.
Why did you mention a surname now?
Usbaruam oshada udadewethu kuhlongwane angikhulumi ngalo muntu omaziyo mina.
Oh, I hope not.
Usekhafu lo muntu nithetha ngaye mna.
So Pen, don't you think when people know
Matiwane usbaruam?
Oh, okay.
When people
it's
know
an argument we had together.
That you bring on a public
because he's a Christian. He's a Christian.
But it's not.
No, don't misdirect what I'm saying.
I'm not going to be the only one. Other people are also going to be like, hey. No problem.
Ntombi guy say my cousin.
No problem.
Umampandla ehafu, who is a Christian. Okay. So we had this argument. No, you must know yourself. It's useless to know the world and not know yourself. And he says to me, my brother-in-law.
Sure.
It's useless to know about African culture. You must know about who you are. Go ask your parents direct. Leave this thing of Kemet, Mansa Musa.
You can do both simultaneously.
No, there's one that's more important.
You're saying the more important thing is your own history.
Let me show you fact.
Don't necessarily be like, I don't want to hear anything.
No, but
let me show you something.
Focus more on knowing
Let me show you something. Mansa Musa was Muslim. And he enslaved Africans.
Ibrahim Traore, I think, is Muslim as well. Aliko Dangote is Muslim.
Now, if we are going to talk about Africa and Sintu, and mention Mansa Musa, then we are talking about Muslims.
Cleopatra.
If we are going to talk about Cleopatra, we are talking about Greeks. If we are going to be talking about Kemet, we are talking about Greek philosophy. Remember, what we know today as Kemet came from a translation from a stone called the Rosetta Stone, the Shabaka stone. On the Shabaka stone is hieroglyphics, Coptic, Greek, and Roman inscriptions, right? So these people were translating what these people wrote. So they wrote what they thought that these people wrote. And they wrote what they thought that these people wrote. And these people wrote what they thought these people wrote. So it's a translation of a translation of a translation of a misinterpretation.
Broken telephone is what it's called.
It's a broken telephone. So what we have today as Kemetology, the study of Kemet, is a mistranslation of a misinterpretation, of a misdirection, of a lost knowledge.